What's up, everybody? It's the Roundtable Sports Podcast. Today, we're taking a look back at the top 50 plays for Daniel Jones in his 2020 season with the New York Giants. And one thing that you notice with Daniel right off the bat, maybe it doesn't play that way in the top 50 plays, but you have to notice and respect the speed that this man possesses when he's out there on the field. You'll notice throughout that it's not as shifty as some of the top-end quarterbacks that are able to run, but the speed, the straight line speed when he is in open field and running away from guys is absolutely present. He's got great size in the open field, and hopefully that'll lead to, him being able to take a couple of hits so he can continue to use that speed, because when he's able to do so, when he's able to make the defense respect him as a runner, it opens up everything else in his game. They have to play a little closer to him. They have to kind of keep an eye on him, and that opens up the rest of the offense so that he can make passes down the field and be able to hit open receivers. His play was really hurt in those last couple of games when he wasn't able to use his leg as much because he was hurt, but overall, when you see this guy play with health, with blocking, with receivers getting open, there's definitely things to like. And sometimes when a quarterback hasn't really ascended to that next level at this point in his career, people start to nitpick and the like. And I can definitely see that, but you see flashes of what this guy can be. And I don't think it's an incomplete quarterback situation where he's not going to have some part of his game where, you're able to conjure bad Jared Goff because you're able to pressure him this way, or he's not able to make reads beyond the first or second read like Mitchell Trubisky, or neither one of them can improvise. Daniel can do all of those things. It's just that he needs to do everything a little bit better. He needs to make better decisions overall, even though you see that there's times where he's making accurate throws and he is making those good decisions. Same thing with the accuracy. You see times where he's putting it right on the guy, and then you see times where he sails it over the guy's head. So it just needs to be a little bit more consistent as far as his passing goes. Now, the other thing as far as the consistency goes is the amount of time that his offensive line is affording him. I think that the amount of offensive line problems that the Giants have had during Daniel's tenure as the Giants quarterback hasn't really helped his internal clock as far as throwing the ball, and that's led to more sacks, and really the offensive line overall has just led to more sacks. And I'm hoping that returning Nate Soldier, as well as some of the resources that they put into the offensive line, really help, because I think that's part of the problem has been the overall offense as well, because I see the physical tools on Daniel as being somewhat elite. Now, it's not the elite arm strength talent that some of these guys have, but overall, I see enough. Absolutely. There's enough zip on that ball that he's able to do what he needs to do from within the pocket. And then if he can continue to grow, using his feet to create more time and create more space for him to be able to operate, I think that's going to really help him overall and really expand his game to that next level, because that's really what we're waiting on with Daniel at this point, is for him to just ascend to that next level of quarterback, because he does all the things that you need a quarterback to be able to do. He just needs to do some of them better and some of them more consistently. Obviously, hanging on to the ball is a big part of that, whether that's the accuracy with throwing it or whether that's being in the pocket and fumbling when you're sacked, or when you're moving around, outside of the pocket and getting sacked. He just has to hold on to the ball better and be more conservative in that part of it. But I don't want him to get too conservative, because I like seeing him run the ball like this. That makes him dynamic. And speaking of dynamic, they didn't really have a whole lot of dynamic weapons for him to work with either. So I also give him a pass on that part of it as well. I like Darius Slayton as a number 2. I like Sterling Shepard as a number 3. Work some Eric Ingram in there as well. And if he can be a little bit more consistent catching the ball, I'd be excited about that. Now, the fact is, though, for this next season, they added Kenny G. Kenny Golladay can really add something for Daniel Jones, I believe. Then you throw in Kyle Rudolph. Then you throw in Kadarius Toney on top of what they already had, because I like the guys they already had. It's just they don't really add that dynamic element to the offense that they were really lacking once they lost Saquon Barkley. And of course, not to mention, you're getting Saquon Barkley back too. So hopefully they're going to be able to run the ball better, because it's not based on what the line was doing when they were running the ball. It was more based on their running backs getting those yards. So we need to have a step up from the line. We need to see these weapons pop, and then hopefully Daniel can get a Stephon Diggs level amount of confidence that he gave Josh Allen. Hopefully Kenny G can give that to Daniel Jones, and we see a step up in his accuracy. He gets a full offseason with everything that's going on here too. So I'm excited to see what Daniel can do. I have hopes for him because you can see the physical tools while he's out on the field. It's just he hasn't been able to put everything together in a way that really leads to winning football all the time for the New York Giants. And nobody's going to win all the time, but you have to put your team in position to win, and I think Daniel will be more capable of doing so in the coming year because of all the things we outlined. Now, I still have some concerns about Jason Garrett overall. I just have many Cowboys scars to bear, but still, I think Daniel can overcome that. I think giving him a little bit more explosion in those weapons is really going to be what not only turns him over, but also turns the offense over, if it's ever going to, into something that's more successful. We'll see how it turns out for Daniel this year.